The trucks are rolling, and the fuel efficiency face-off, the new driver challenge, has begun. And what a challenge it is. In the end, there can be only one fuel efficiency champion.
You want to beat Joel? If you want to put it into cruise, that'll give you a little bit better bump on that then.
How do I set cruise?
You're going to get the little button over there. It looks like a watch. That's everything. And then you hit your set. Okay, there we go. I can use this to mount. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Now it's just going to get easier from there. In CDL school, there is no cruise. Right. You're just, so I just don't even. Managing cruise isn't something that I'm used to. Yeah, used to. I'm thinking about it. Speed makes a huge difference. Keeps the speed down, and it's a big difference.
Just north of the Virginia-North Carolina border lies Fancy Gap, a stretch of I-77 that boasts 1,300 feet of elevation change over 6.2 miles at an average grade of 4%. Northbound, it's an uphill pull that tests the engine's power. Southbound, it's a downhill crawl that challenges a driver to manage his speed and engine braking. It's a workout.
So I anticipate that we will see a difference between going up and going down, and we should be a little more comfortable with the truck when we need. But going down the highway, 68, 69 miles an hour, on this load on normal rolling hills, that you should be proud that to make 8.5 miles to gain one. That's really anticipating. Yeah, but I can't lose now. No pressure. He says he runs between 57 and 62, so I dropped it to 58. I'll just stay within his range. Okay. So that's what he's probably looking at doing anyway, you know? Not a stay in those ranges, leaving it cruise.
We're going to say 58,000 pounds at 45 mile an hour, which isn't terribly impressive. Well, everybody's passing us, so it tells it where we're at. Now, could I run it harder up here? Absolutely, but that should really crash you on. So it's climbing this hill at about 3.3 miles a gallon, but I think I'm sitting right on top of peak horsepower right now.
What are your indicators there?
My boost is running around 17 pounds instead of 23 or 24. With fuel burn rates at 3.2 instead of 2.9. And I am at 1,425 RPM. And that's a pretty typical Volvo number for peak horsepower. So this is just my best guess because I haven't looked at a chart. I'm guessing I'm at the lower end of peak horsepower. That's kind of, for fuel efficiency, how you want to run a hill. You don't want it at the high side of peak because you're turning all kinds of extra RPM. Our beautiful numbers are just collapsing here. We're down to around 8. We're going to dip into the 7s. And by the time we get to the top, we're going to be in the probably low 7s.
Made it.
7.4. We're going to call it 6.4 until we know better.
We're coming back down to 7.3. There's still a huge role for that driver. Expertise and skill is not completely negating all that. You know what I mean? I don't know as well as he does in his own truck, happens to happens. And so it's not that you're removing that skill set of that need from the driver. There's still quite a bit of the driver's impact. It's a fuel economy and operation. This terrain is not ideal for fuel economy. We're at lower gears and higher RPMs. We're not at consistent speeds. So that'll make a big difference there. Yes, sir.
Just so you don't get indigestion about these fuel mileage numbers, our speedometer is a little bit off. So we were actually running slower than what we thought we would.
How fast are you running back there?
We checked it and we were running like 52 miles an hour, 54 miles an hour, and it was saying around 60. So we'll document that. It also means the fuel mileage not right anywhere close to accurate either.
No, I would anticipate that.
We'll run GPS miles from his app. We fuel back up and use that to actually calculate the fuel mileage.
He's got the cruise set at 56 up there.
He's got the cruise set at 56. Why is it going so slow?
We're waiting for you.
Yeah, you're gaming the system. I'm going 45 with my hazards on. We'll see who gets fuel economy.
We're plugging along with skills.
Okay. We'll run the speed limit. Keep up.
Trying not to kill my entire MPG.
Oh, you almost made it. You're going to go straight. We're pulling the customer center right up here. Right in here is good. Right in here is good. Yeah. All in one piece, brother. Good job.
Oh, that was fun. Okay.
So we got here well ahead of Joel. We're here first. We were doing a little different speed there, so that's a big factor. We're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do that to bring it down. Otherwise, I was kind of in my own habits of accelerator and using the service brake and engine brake and all that kind of stuff. So once I put the cruise on, MPG is starting to come up too. The driver really does impact the operation. Joel's average was like 10 miles per gallon on this truck. We'll see what I do.
So you saw this. I tried. I wasn't throwing this. I was giving this all it was worth.
All right, halftime report. We are here at the Volvo Customer Center in Dublin, Virginia. Half our trip is done. We got the leg going back. Joel, how do you feel? How did it go for you?
We had a few challenges,
Yeah,
but
same.
it went well.
Good.
I'm not disappointed. I don't think I'm doing as well as what the dash shows that I'm doing, though.
All right, well, yeah, talk us back because we were talking a little bit out there. What did we run into and discover about this truck?
So, if anybody that ever follows me on social media knows I harp about calibrating the dash.
Yep.
Calibrating the dash, if you don't do it, your numbers are meaningless. So what we discovered on this, the dash was 7 miles an hour off, so it's got a pretty big delta. It's showing a lot more miles getting up here. I think probably what happened when they put new tires on it, they probably went from 11 22.5s to low pro 22.5s, and it's going to throw the dash calculations off. It throws the miles off. Everything is going to be slightly off on this. So I think it's probably showing a mile a gallon at least better than what I'm actually doing. So I think I'm right at around 7-ish, maybe 6.9, 7 coming up, which coming up from Greensboro is still pretty decent.
That's fantastic. It makes me sweat a little bit. Just to clarify, so 7 miles off, so when you thought you were going 60, you were actually going 53.
Correct, yes.
And as we know, speed, right? We were talking about this
Speed
a
makes
lot.
a difference.
Huge difference in fuel economy there. So we got that straightened out on the way back. And then to your point about the mileage, we're like 112 miles coming up here, and your reading was like 130,
136, something like that.
Okay. So yeah, a little difference there, a little nuance. Well, on my side, one, just being in a truck again, right? So getting used to it, understanding the technology, I think, right? Coming out of CDL school, there was no cruise control. You did everything. So that first half, I don't think I really touched cruise at all. I was on the accelerator and the service brake and the engine brake. Once I got comfortable, then, it was time to really get the cruise control on, get used to using that. It did a great job of how it would manage the gearing. I'd get into some coast modes that would bump that MPG a little bit higher. But it underscores to me too, as a new driver, the training component of how much. If you want a driver to use cruise control as a new driver, probably train them before they get in the truck, right? Because we're not used to it. We're used to, especially manuals, where we're on the accelerator, we're on the brake. So getting used to that, feeling much more confident. You have a beautiful truck here. This is fantastic. This is amazing. The confidence it brings too. CDL school and truck. when you're learning, it's intimidating, right? Every time you go to get in a truck for that day's I guess, lesson, right? When you learn a lot out there, there's a little bit of trepidation, there's a little bit of apprehension. No, after 20 minutes of being in here and getting on the road, it's night and day. Just what's in front of me, watch my trailer, trucks handling all the shift points. I think our numbers are, I think I'm at a 7.98-ish for MPG, so hoping to get that a little higher, figuring it out, but.
So it is a 112-mile uphill pull essentially up here. So you're on grade constantly, even though you've got ups and downs. It is an uphill pull, pretty significant coming up Fancy Gap. People that have been up it know it's 7 miles of really hard pull. To be at 8, a new guy coming up here is very, very respectable. Now when we turn around and go back, I think this is where this truck's really, really going to shine. The number's good. You were getting used to things.
Yeah.
It's still, I think, going to be better than what I done, and I was driving the heck out of this thing. I was doing everything that I could, and
He was relaxed.
our average
He was
speed,
back, feet on the dash. It was crazy.
our average speed is going to be much, much lower than what. So there's the productivity component along with the fuel efficiency component. So you can really start to see the eye shift, what value that brings to a very good powertrain. The iShift just puts it on steroids, and it really is the driver's best friend. It really is.
Right. Well, excited to see how we do here on the back half. So we'll head back in the trucks and head back to North Carolina.
Awesome. Let's do it.
So you notice the truck just started to roll back before you hit the brake. So this has got hill start assist on it. So when you let go of the brake, it'll give you 3 seconds before it lets go of the brake. So that whole feeling of rolling back.
Yeah, I see that.
That's awesome. So safety feature. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's always that fear with a manual transmission.
Well, yeah, and I rolled back because I didn't really feel it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
In the iShift, I didn't really know I was on a grade to go back. On that, on those manuals, you feel it a little bit more. But it's just a quick brake tap, and you're good to go.
Well, yeah, if it's on grade, you hold the brake and so it allows you that time to go over to the throttle. So rollbacks become a thing of the past.
Right? Yeah, that's excellent.
Now that we're running 65, it's just going down, and we're going downhill and it's still dropping off. So this is where direct drive, although you get a little bit of efficiency gain in the transmission, you lose it in pumping losses in the engine the faster you go. And it just doesn't give us the range that we need to stay efficient for American highway speeds. Works great in Europe, but it's really you're going to make some sacrifices over here to get ultimate efficiency out of it. Trying to convince drivers to slow down when they're getting paid by the mile, it's really not fair to them.
No.
It's just odd.
And now just set to cruise, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Then you could manually manipulate that too. If you want to drop down a gear, I will just let it run. I've learned my lesson now.
Do even less work. Got it.
It was definitely quite the labor of love for the guys at the shop at Volvo getting this thing ready to go on the road. Really was never driven. It was the launch truck back in '96. What were you doing back in 1996?
I was doing the outlaw thing. Everybody was on paper logs, hit 2 or 3 of them going on, and just stupid, young and dumb, and Jesus, I wish I could do it over again. We're super trucker, and you didn't care about if you didn't sleep. You just made sure you had a lot of caffeine in you, and you just kept going. And we had to do something different in order to really make money in this industry, and that's when we really started hard into the efficiency.
So I'll set it. I have it set on cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Once we start descending, I'll probably put engine brake on 2. right? Or
That's
just-
so you can bring it back as far as you like. So you'll accelerate a little bit if you're just using the engine brake.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can just bring it back as to kind of like a reverse throttle.
Okay.
Just to kind of back it off if I need to.
Yep.
Okay.
And if you think you're still going faster than the engine brake, will allow you to just stab the brake occasionally.
Yep.
It'll be fun. We are not in a race.
No, we are not.
If you like I said, you can bring your cruise down to about 42 and
Oh yeah, okay. If I put it down on 42, then put the engine brake down to 2 or 3, will it ever drop me into, will it just keep me in gear the whole time? Will it ever drop me to neutral?
so if you put the engine brake on, the cruise will not stay cruise. Yeah. So just kind of figure out which is more comfortable for you.
I thought I could kind of freely move that around, so that might have been too on myself out of cruise, not realizing.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
didn't realize that knocked me out of cruise too.
And I anticipate Joel will be on this field very slow.
Yeah, because he's gonna pick his gear and set it, right? That's what he'll go down that hill.
What speed and gear are we going to go down the hill in?
We're probably going to be in the 40-mile-an-hour range, and we're probably going to be in fifth low, probably.
This is awesome. So I've just got cruise set. I'm at 42. It's dropping us down to 39 to stay right behind them. I mean, this is amazing. Yeah. Was that the service brake? Did it hit the service brake? Okay. So it's pumping the brakes like I would.
Yes. You just gotta trust it for a minute. You know what I mean? Once you trust it, it's amazing that, because this situation, especially for a new driver, it's a dangerous situation. I mean, if I forgot about the gear or the grade came up on me too fast, I wasn't thinking about it. There's no way if I'm in 40, I want to probably be kind of down at 7th gear, on a 10 speed. And if I didn't get down there and I'm at 9th right before the grade started, and now I'm just relying on my brakes to get down it, it could be pretty serious. So just having this, being able to set it, it's doing the work.
Yeah, it's picking up Joel's speed with your adaptive cruise.
This is a great demonstration of the difference between the manual and the I-shift here, coming down here, without the engine brake, how hard you actually have to work at this to do it right, without burning the brakes up, and frying wheel seals, catching brakes on fire, and all kinds of other goofy ass. Generally, you want to start down. See, they're telling us 55. We probably actually want to start going down at 45, and we want to start probably a gear lower than what you would think is comfortable for the truck. So the signs are up here. Sometimes they'll tell you where to start and what to do. Sometimes they don't. And a lot of these bigger grades, they'll make you pull off into a little area and read. There's a big sign that'll show you where all the runaway ramps are. All right, so we're talking about 40-mile-an-hour speed limit is what it's showing. So we'll get slow this bad boy down. Big gear already. There we go. Mistake everybody makes when they're doing this is they are worried about what other traffic thinks, and so they keep inching their speed up, and it gets you into a world of friggin' hurt. The new trucks are so much better. This used to be like the hill of death back in the day, back in the 70s. Back in the early 70s, hell, half the trucks didn't even have front brakes on the steer axle. Wow, this is where, people would speed up and then upshift, and then you're just gonna go right back down. It's all about patience when you don't have an engine brake. One of the other mistakes you'll see guys do is they'll use this right here just to run the trailer brakes until they heat up and try to save the truck brakes. That's something you don't want to do either. So what I'm doing is I'm letting this roll up to 50, which is 43, and then I'm bringing it back to 45, which is 38. So we're just kind of bumping in between there, keeping the RPM up between 1,800 and 2,000 on the engine. The engine's doing the work, and we'll go all the way down like that. Now this last little section here is what will get a lot of guys, because they think you see the bottom down there, and you're like, oh, screw it, man, let's pick it up into high gear, and you'll be smoking by the time you hit the by the time you hit the scale up there, they'll write you up for smoking brakes. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can't have smoking brakes going over a scale. That wasn't too awful painful.
Well, I'm definitely spoiled.
Didn't have to shift the gear.
No,
out,
I
did
didn't
you?
do anything. I just maintained lane and watched my mirrors.
Right.
That's amazing.
So he says, you guys are kicking our ass. we are on 8.5 on a readout that is majority raw. So whatever the read, we're beating them on it.
All right. I'll take it.
All right. Well, that was a great run. That was a great run. I think anyone who wins, I think will be happy with this.
I'm confident with the numbers that we put up, but I just don't think it's going to be as good.
Well, let's find out. Dwayne, you've got the numbers here. Run them down for us.
Yeah, we got the numbers here. 276.3 miles we ran. Purple Haze, we filled it back up with 28.4 gallons. That gives us a MPG of 9.7.
That is crazy.
Awesome. That is awesome.
That is crazy.
So now we got the old salty dog over here. Okay, we got the red old truck here. We got 32.16 gallons in it with an average of 8.59. Now, that's nothing to sneeze at, giving us a difference of 1.1.
Wow.
In your favor, Jason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the truck's favor. I mean, the truck really did all the work. Joel spec'd the truck, so I think he wins either way. Right. But that's amazing.
No, the numbers are both good. For the old truck, I think it's outstanding. It's, 27 years old?
Yeah, 27-year-old truck.
To be able to turn 8.6, pulling a flatbed, I-77, up Fancy Gap.
Right.
It's a good number. It's a respectable number,
That's
no
an
doubt.
amazing number.
Definitely had to work my tail off to get that number. There's no doubt about that. A lot of thought into where I thought the torque curve and the horsepower was at and where I needed to run. And you guys had an 8-minute delta heading up there. I mean,
right.
you were up there sitting around waiting for me for 8 minutes.
Yep.
And still beat me by a mile a gallon. So I think impressive on both ends.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned kind of the mental load and the strain, right? And I definitely remember that from CDL school and driving the manual truck and just how exhausted, like physically and just mentally you are, being so aware of everything going on, where the truck is. I don't feel that as much. Like, I still am tired. I was still watching the road, but I don't feel it as much as I did.
I don't either. Now, it's always good to get into an older piece of equipment because sometimes you don't realize how good you have it.
Okay,
and
right.
So, you know, I'm active in social media. I do some podcasts, and I can actually roll down the road thinking about other things and still get those numbers. Not happening with this. You had to think about everything you were doing to even get within a mile a gallon of you. As the week goes on and I get tired and I don't want to do that anymore, that's going to get bigger and bigger as the week progresses, because it's going to take a mental toll and a physical toll on a driver trying to perform at that level.
Right. Now, I will say, from my perspective, new driver, new truck, new technology, driver training is huge, right? Because for the first half or even a little bit more of that of the drive, I wasn't using cruise control. I was getting comfortable with the truck. Went up the gap without cruise control going, right? So that was my own accelerator and all that kind of stuff. And my numbers were not quite where I wanted them. I was at 6.5, 7. I was pushing up to 8. I really wanted to roll into that customer center at 8 with a little bit of bragging rights. And I was just a little short at like 7.7. I feel like, but then, you know, coming down, hit cruise control as soon as we hit the highway, like I said, on the second leg. And that driver training component, right? You need the guys to use cruise to get that MPG benefit. Training, make them aware of it, how it works. There were even nuances I was learning on the way back of, I knew if I hit the service brake, it would take me out of cruise. I did not know if I moved the engine brake, it did the same thing. So understanding that of like, oh, okay, when I do that, I have to treat it like the service brake and put it back in cruise. Because there was a couple times where I was just coasting for a while because I still thought I was in cruise.
Some of the things the old school guys will talk about with a manual transmission, they feel like they're safer, they have more control, and I get it. Shifting is a skill that you learn, and it's something that you become very proud of, and you take a lot of pride in that. However, it is a lot more work. There's no way around that. It requires a lot of your attention. You should be focusing on safety or other things, really. I can tell you, running an I-shift down Fancy Gap, me personally, I feel 10 times safer than running this manual the way I did coming down, kind of the old school way, bringing it down. It took a lot of focus, a lot of attention, a lot of effort to do that you just don't have with the I-shift. And while I do understand, the old school guys' pride in their ability to shift, today's I-shift is so much better than any manual transmission on the market. There's just no way.
Yeah, but I do not want to steal the thunder away from you and your experience and ability, because look, let's not forget, at the beginning of the day, we looked at your overall over what?
74,000 miles, yes.
And you were at 10.25 miles per gallon, which still, I mean, we're pushing another mile per gallon that way. And look, the way that you drive the truck, the way you understand it, your experience, I think, and I think if this has taught me one thing, you can bring a lot of that to an automated manual transmission and understanding. And so it's not really taking the power away from you. It's just putting it into a different box and a different way to put it on the road.
Yes, the skill of the driver still matters, and you can take pride in that, and you can leverage that skill to optimize the I-shift, so to speak. Right. So it's not doing away with the driver by any means, but it is a different thought process. And I don't know. Your numbers were phenomenal. I thought we done really good for this old girl here. The workload, you can't understate that workload. It is a lot of effort to get those kind of numbers, and I don't think it's not something you can do consistently. Maybe if I was 21 again, maybe, but at my age, I'm going to last about 3 days doing that, and then I'm going to be like, I'm done. We're just going to put foot on the floor and go.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be in Purple Haze. As much as I enjoyed driving this for a day, I don't think I want to get back in anytime soon.
Right. Well, I mean, if we can convince some people to take some pride in, maybe not from floating gears, but floating your MPG up.
There you go.
Right. I think that there's definitely bragging rights. Well, you got a beautiful truck. Thanks so much for letting me take for a ride. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic job. Dwayne, Volvo Trucks, thank you guys. This was fantastic. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's a wrap on the Fuel Efficiency Face-Off. Huge thanks to Volvo Trucks North America for making it happen, Stark State CDL School for making my CDL happen, the Fleet Equipment team, Babcock's Media, Alpha Drivers, and their whole team with Joel Morrow. Huge thanks to everyone. We'll see you on the road.